The problem with water in Haiti is that most people in areas like this don't have access to clean and safe water. The problem in northwest Haiti, where we are now, is that most places you can drill 300 feet or 100 meters in the ground and it's as dry as this concrete right here. There isn't groundwater most places here. We're looking for the exceptional place, or we're trying to cap springs and run long pipelines so that everybody has water within, in a rural area. If you can get it within a kilometer of them, it really, really changes life. Every time I buy a new computer, the thing's got more gadgets on it. The last one's got a camera on it so I can talk to people, and it's got stuff on there that I'll never use. And yet, nobody in the world that we know of makes a valve that'll stand up to a community water fountain in Haiti. This is the towboat valve. This is the best one that we know of. When you lift that thing up, the water comes out into your bucket. And the problem is that before long, these things start leaking. Do you see how it's leaking around? And anything that's on my hand is running out. And you can see that there's no way that you can guarantee that the water, even though it's safe and clean coming out of here, it's gonna depend now on how clean my hands are. We're at another one of the ODRINO fountains in Post-Métier. And you can see, because of where we are, there's a little more pressure coming out of here. When we designed this fountain, we left 12 inches above the where the water comes out so that it collects air for helping with the water hammer. Well, what actually happens is, in opening and closing, the air goes away. So what we do on the fountains where there's a higher pressure, instead of getting a pressure reduction valve, which is too complicated and they break into calcium and stuff, makes a mess of them here, is we get some racquetball balls and we unscrew the top here and we put 2 or 3 of them in here depending on how much pressure there is to help reduce the pressure, so that when she lets go of that, there's not this water hammer that goes over into the PVC pipe and breaks things. It's easy to design something complicated, but to get something that's simple and reliable and works, it's harder. This is what we've come up with after about 15 years of work. And we don't think it's the end-all for community fountains in the world, but it is a solution, and it's better than anything we can find, and it takes the advantages of the Talvo valve, which is a valve that's a self-closing valve, with some protection around it so that they can't get contaminated when they're getting the water. So all you got to do with this lever is just pull the lever up and hold it, and when you let go of it, it closes. But this is the piece that goes here, and you can see when you lift it up, it lifts the valve up. When you let go, that's the mechanism right there. The other thing that we need to talk about is the size of the hole. You can see in here, that hole is about 1/4 of an inch, about 4 millimeters, 5 millimeters. We make the holes on these as small as 1 millimeter or 1/16 of an inch, because if you have a lot of pressure, if you put a small hole in there, you limit the flow and you limit the pressure on it, especially if you have a broken valve. If you have a slower flow, if you have less pressure, you want a bigger hole, and if you don't have much pressure at all, you can drill the whole thing all the way out. So we vary the size of the hole in there depending on how much pressure we have for the fountain. And when we design a water system, we try and design a water system so that every fountain will have water with all the valves broken. You just want to think, when you're in a place like Haiti, sometimes they don't get as much maintenance as they should and as much attention, so you want to make sure that everybody gets water under as many conditions as possible. People will say, well, you know, stainless steel isn't that expensive. Well, yeah, it's expensive, but a long water system can cost several $100,000, and the thing that breaks on them is the fountains. The other thing is that so many times we see relief and aid organizations driving around in $50,000, $60,000 trucks, because that's what lasts out here. But we want something that's low cost and fast to put in for the people. Well, it doesn't last. Haitians have a proverb that says, if it smells good, it probably costs money. Or they talk about building something that's muy quite, which means that when you're gone, when you die, it'll still be there. We've got some of these things in service for 20 years and they're still there.